Greetings, Pogue here. Today I'm going to show you how to tangle this cross that uses the tangle Wyfore. Zentangle HQ introduced the tangle in Project Pack 20, Day 3. Go to their Zentangle channel page, look under Playlists, and you will find it there, along with many other great videos. These are the supplies that I will be using today. A black 3.5-inch Zentangle tile, a graphite pencil, a number 8 jelly roll, these Caran d'Ache colored pencils, a gold metallic jelly roll, and this Moonlight 06 in the dark gray in order to put my chop on it at the end so it won't show up so much. These are the color chips and the exact names of the pencils that I am using in case you want to follow along with exactly the materials I use. Of course, you can use any materials you have at hand and probably come up with something even more beautiful than what I've done. So with that, let's get tangling. Before we start putting our string on our tile, let us take a moment to relax our shoulders and our hands, to breathe, and to feel grateful for all that we have. Now pick up your pencil and let's put the dots in the corners of our tile. Then let's draw lines connecting our dots. Now we're going to draw a set of guidelines, which we will later erase. Yes, I really did say that. But our guidelines are going to go from corner to corner as straight as you can. They don't have to be perfect. And from side to side. So we kind of look at where the middle is here and draw lines out from the middle. That was all simple. Now we're going to do something that requires a little more focus perhaps. We're going to draw a series of squares in here. And we're going to do the first one as a little box. Well, I don't know, I'm going to put it right there. These marks will all be covered up later. Okay, and let's make sure that they're parallel to this line. Now let's look at this section of line and divide it into thirds. Just eyeball it. And we're going to create 2 more squares. Drop this down vertically. And if you feel comfortable using a ruler, go ahead. It's your tile. There. At this point, your tile should look something like this. Now I'm going to take my graphite, my jelly roll, number 8, and we're going to actually put unerasable marks on the tile. And if you would like, you can trace these, you can make these in pencil and come back and trace over them again if you feel more comfortable, if this is something new to you. I'm going to start in the corner of the most inside square, right there. And I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to arch out here. We'll just kind of go out here, and then I'm going to come back around and make a loop. So just watch for a few minutes until you kind of get the idea. So arch it up. So I have come very close to this line up on top. Even if you touch it, that's fine. But I have stayed within this piece right there, that triangle. I'm going to turn my tile and do the same thing right here. If they aren't perfect, that's okay. Now, I'm going to mirror these in this tile. So just watch. Starting at the corner there, I'm going to kind of come down I've mirrored that. And we're going to come over here. Be sure to turn your tile so that it's comfortable to make this stroke. Okay, the next step we're going to finish the arms of the cross, we're going to go out here on the top of this loop. We're going to take off and land. Dip it down just a little bit. It gives it a little more character. We're going to cover up all these white lines later with gold. But we need them to guide us while we're doing the coloring. Okay. Then let's come down here at the bottom of this loop and come over and draw behind. And then that, and that. We're drawing behind so it looks like this thing is looped under. This is a wonderful tangle. It can be used in many ways. The tangle itself is really just this part. But I've connected them to make a cross. Okay, now we have our cross. Now we're going to finish our pattern. We're going to aura all of these. So let's start there, a little bit inside that square, and make an aura that goes up like that. And to continue the illusion of something flopping over, we put that there. Oops. Okay, let's divide this cross now into 4 parts by drawing a line from here to here. And if you need to deviate a little bit from your graphite to make it go right down the center, do so. When you finish this, all of your friends are going to be amazed that you did this freehand. Okay, see, I'm going to come right down that middle through the center point and right down this middle, like that. Now we're going to put some little bitty caps right there. Little ladybugs. And let's come to the inside, and we're going to finish this by tracing over these diagonals. Now we're going to draw in the lines that create this box in the back. So we're going to start up here and just put a little bit and then skip over the cross and come down here. That's what we made those original squares for. If you somehow forget and put white in here, don't worry about it. We're going to cover it up with colored pencils. In fact, you can scrape off this white after it dries with the tip of a penknife or even your fingernail. Okay. And there we have it. Our pattern is done. Now we're going to erase the graphite lines. You don't have to do this. It's really not necessary, but I want it to my cross to stand out on a blank background of black, and so I'm going to do this. I'm using this vanish eraser. You can use any eraser you have, but I really like this one because it doesn't leave any marks on the paper. You can gently rub it down the paper and it just picks that graphite up. In case you're feeling uncomfortable about the idea of erasing, I'm just going to say that I am creating Zentangle inspired art. I'm going to frame this and hang it on the wall or give it to a friend. And so I don't necessarily feel compelled to stick with the whole Zentangle method with regards to not erasing, because this is a process of making art, and the real Zentangle method is more a process of meditation. And I try not to worry about any mistakes that I've made and just go with them. I do most of the time. But this I planned ahead. I know it's going to be a gift for a friend, a piece of artwork with a frame around it, and so I'm erasing unabashedly. And there we have it. Let's take a quick look at our model. You can see I have used the colors kind of alternating on the tile. It kind of makes it look like there's more color, gives it a kind of a medieval touch. So I've got red and aqua, dark blue, and an ochre. That's what we're going for. So I'm going to start right here with my red pencil. Coloring on black tiles with a colored pencil, you would think it wouldn't work very well, but I've found that actually on a black tile you have to have something that can cover up a lot of the black, and these colored pencils can. I'm using these Pablos because they are highly pigmented. They have a lot of pigment in it, and that will cover up the black. Nonetheless, the black will lend a different shade to the color. You're not going to get what you would, it's going to be a completely different looking color than if you had done this on white paper. You know, that's the red right there that you would see on a white paper, but this is doing it over black. So I'm doing this. Then I'm going to come down here and go right, but before I do it, go in there and get right to the edges. We're going to cover all this up with gold. So then come over here. You may find yourself going back after this is all done and seeing places where too much black for your taste showed through, so you can go after it again and add a little more. Now I chose the red to be the background on this square, I guess because I like red. And it's a color of joy. And interestingly, though, in Christian symbolism, it's also a color of martyrdom. Whoops, over here I noticed something I forgot. This flip under. Right there. I also forgot the red. There we go. Now I'm going to go for the blue. It's kind of a dark blue. This one's called Night Blue. Be sure to breathe while you do this. and relax your hand and your shoulders. This coloring is hard work. And now the ochre. I'm going to use this green, which seems rather bright and kind of unlike the other colors, which are all somewhat muted, but it somehow works on this black. In fact, I had to pick pencils that had pigments that were a little brighter than I would have thought would work in order for us to be able to see the colors well on this black tile. If you like what we're doing here, take this opportunity to go below and hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, so you'll get notified when I put new videos up. I'm choosing to put this cream color here inside of this fold over. And so let's just fill that in with cream. You may not have to bear down quite as much, because I'm going to come back and shade it a little bit with blue. Take your time. We're not catching any trains here. Turn your tile to easily get into all the little corners. Sometimes when I'm doing things like this on tiles, I feel like I'm on my sewing machine because I plant my arm like the needle would be planted and I move the tile under it. Oh, there I forgot a green one. No, wait a minute. Yes, that's green. There we go. Okay. In order to emphasize the depth of these, I'm going to put in a little bit of this blue down here and just kind of shade over it. Just a little bit at the bottom and up here at the top. Okay. If you feel like you've put a little too much blue somewhere or it doesn't look real smooth, come back in with your cream or white and shade it out a little bit back and forth there. Working with colored pencils, especially when you are combining colors, is kind of a back and forth operation anyway. Let's pick up our gold metallic jelly roll or whatever other gold metallic pen you have and finish this tile. Basically what we're going to do is to simply go over all the white lines except for one little part, and I will begin with that. Up here we have this little ladybug, and we want to completely cover everything including the white, and then we're going to make it come down this way, and we're putting in a little, I don't know, something cool. Remember that gold ink takes a while to dry, so don't touch it for a while. Okay. You need to save your gold till the very last, because very little will stick to that gold. You can't color over it. So it's the last thing you do. Okay. So I'm going to back my hand off just a little bit and make sure I don't touch the gold. And I'm going to go in and just kind of start in the middle. Make these lines slowly and carefully. You have to give that ink time to flow down onto that little ball that puts the gold on the paper. When we have two lines that overlap, I usually try to put the gold on the piece behind first, and then when this comes along to overlap it, you can make a smooth line. We are ready now to put our chop on. First thing I might do is turn it to see if there's one way I like it better than the others. Well, I guess no, I'm going to stick with the way we started. There we go. Let's put our chop on it, and I'm going to use this Moonlight 06 kind of in a dark gray, and I'm going to put it right down here. There we go. Now give it a second to dry. And then we can turn it over and sign it. And there we have it. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments below. If you have any suggestions or questions or anything like that, just let me know. Have a great day now. Y'all come back now, you hear?